no longer be the whipping post for the orange teams. We're going to start winning when Tennessee comes here or anybody else in the cockpit.
I just want to remind all these Gamecock fans out here, it's been 10 years, and after this year, it's going to be 11.
Oot, oot, go Cock.
We're getting ready to put it on.
At championship level, you have to play physical. We got to line up, we got to look them in the eye, and we got to control the line of scrimmage, both offense and defense. Now, this is a game where they're going to knock you down, you get up, you knock them down. That's what a heavyweight fight's all about. One time, somebody's going to decide to stay down and won't be out. To get that championship level, you got to be physical.
We welcome you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS. In Columbia, South Carolina, the home of the Gamecocks. South Carolina comes in with a record of 5 wins and 3 defeats under the leadership of head coach Lou Holtz. Leave it to a hound to pick a game of chicken with a Gamecock on a splendid Saturday afternoon. It's SEC football on CBS, and today the Tennessee Volunteers come to town to take on the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Todd Blackledge and Jill Arrington. We welcome you to Columbia in a game of real significance. There is a strong sense of a season being in the balance this afternoon. Take the case of Tennessee, a consensus preseason pick as a top 5 team. Some thought they might win the national championship. They have struggled all year. They come in having lost 2 in a row, and Todd Blackledge, they are limping.
They are limping, you know, and Philip Fulmer and his staff have never used injuries as an excuse, but those injuries have taken a tremendous toll on this offensive football team. They played 1 game without their quarterback, their 4th game today without their best receiver. They've been inconsistent on the offensive line. The bottom line is they haven't been able to play Tennessee football, and what that means is line up in the I formation and run the football at you. They are 9th in the conference this year, only averaging 129 yards per game. And on top of that, they haven't had anybody of their group of tailbacks step up and be the marquee guy. Perfect example, last week they played Alabama. 5 different guys carried the football. They only gained 59 yards.
Well, the preseason expectations for South Carolina perhaps not quite as high as those for Tennessee, but I think they're asking questions about themselves as well.
Lou Holtz has done a marvelous job here at South Carolina. He's taught this team how to win. He's taught them how to handle winning, and now he's trying to take them to the next level. But to do that, he's got to beat the top teams in the East. He's 0-6 against Tennessee and Florida. Now, they've played Tennessee very well the last 2 years, losing by a total of 10 points. They've never had a better opportunity to knock off the Vols than they have this afternoon.
Tennessee has won the toss, and they have deferred the option to the second half. This game, as are all of our games in the SEC, brought to you in high-definition television. It is simply perfect today. 59 degrees. It's strictly perfect as well. 32% the humidity. Winds out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour, and there is not a cloud to be seen. Philip Newman getting ready to kick off the series, led by Tennessee 16-2. Last Gamecock win came here in 1992. And getting back to receive for South Carolina, Matthew Thomas, converted wide receiver, now playing running back, and Jared Farabee, number 89. And this one to be taken by Thomas at the 1. Nice downfield pursuit, and the tackle made by Jason Allen, number 18. And we check in on the sideline with the third member of our team. Here's Jill Arrington.
Well, thanks, Vern. Todd mentioned it earlier, what a desperate game this is for South Carolina. The seniors told us that they have this bitter taste in their mouth from never having beaten Tennessee. Safety Jonathan Martin said he wants to impress to those younger players how bad it feels to have never beaten Tennessee. He wants to beat this team now so that he can leave with some respect from the conference and lead this team on an upswing. He said it's time to take that Tennessee aura away, and it's time to let them beat us and not us beat ourselves.
All right, Jill, hand off to Pinnock. He bounces off a tackle and comes left. Nice gain on first down out near the 18-yard line. The quarterback is senior from Columbia, where he played at Dreher High School. He's 26 years of age, Corey Jenkins.
And he's one of the more interesting quarterbacks, not just in this league, but in the country, because he is a running back playing quarterback. Now, having said that, he also has a very strong arm. He can throw the football, but he loves to run the football, and he's averaging 223 yards per game of total offense.
Second down and 2. Jenkins goes from the spread, quarterback draw. He goes right and appears to have enough for the first down just across the 19. They might spot this just short. Let's check the Alamo starting lineups now. The offensive line. It's Horton, Williams, Goddard, Hall, and Sanderson up front. Pinnock in the backfield, 3 wide receiver set. Keep your eye on Troy Williamson. He's a blazer. And Hart Turner is the tight end.
Lou Holtz told us yesterday one of the things they would have to do today would be excel on short yardage and goal line situations. Well, here's the first one. 3rd and 1 from just inside their 20-yard line.
Straight T in the backfield. And a little bit of indecision, and then Jenkins goes right and gets the first down.
I think he was just kind of hesitating purposely to just see if something would open up a crease. I mean, he knows how to run the football, and he got the first down.
Here's the Volunteer defense. Hand, Moore, Franklin, Carlton, Neal, Demetrin, Veal did not make the trip for the Volunteers, out with an injury at right end. They've had serious problems at linebacker, having lost 2 starters, Burnett and Simon at weak side. And in the secondary, it's Miles, Baker, Jabril Wilson, and Julian Battle. First down and 10, backs in the eye. And here's the handoff to Pinnock. They know it's a reverse. And coming around the left side is James Atkinson. He's got a lot of room. They fake the give to Pinnock and hand it off to the wide receiver, James Atkinson, who picks up 27 yards.
Well, Atkinson has missed some time. Now, here he is right here. Now, as he comes on a reverse, it starts with the fake here, and watch the Tennessee defense all filter this way and follow the running back. They're in there to stop the run, and everybody sucks inside, and it's a perfectly timed reverse and a call by Skip Holtz.
Now, Lou Holtz told us yesterday they had 4 reverses in the game plan for the day. Nothing out of the ordinary, just to keep the Tennessee defense honest.
Run reverses against a fast pursuing defense, and here's another one.
This is an inside shovel to Michael Ages, number 7, and he picks up 5 to the 46-yard line of Tennessee.
And what this does to the Tennessee defense, as much as anything, is it just makes them think a little bit. Now, this is a defense that's built on speed. They fly to the football, they pursue quickly, and now you go 2 misdirection plays in the first series, and you get them a little bit on their heels and trying to guess where the ball is going next.
Andre Gause and Thez Robinson come in the lineup to the near side for South Carolina on second down. 4-man front for the Volunteers. They'll bring 5. The handoff to Pinnock. He's got room, and he is a load. Andrew Pinnock, toting 255 pounds, heads over right tackle and picks up a South Carolina first down.
Well, the strength of this Carolina team is their offensive line, and they ran behind Shane Hall, their right guard, and Walt Sanderson, the right tackle. And Andrew Pinnock is starting to get it in gear a little bit. Eddie Moore, number 37, the leading tackler, gets his legs cut out from under him by the tight end Hart Turner. And when your best tackler is on the ground, that's not good for your defense.
They'll go from the eye after the 13-yard gain. 2 wide receivers split left this time. Troy Williamson, here is the reverse. And Kenny irons the back. It's a fake reverse, and Irons is snuffed after a gain of 2. Julian Battle, number 14, with a tackle. Here's Andrew Pinnock. Earlier this season, bothered by fumble problems, particularly in a game that we did here. 6-point loss to Georgia when he fumbled twice inside the 5.
And he's a senior. He's been an outstanding player. You see what he did the first 2 games and since then. However, the last 2 games now, he's been averaging over 6 yards a carry. So he's starting to get more involved in the offense. And they've got Kenny Irons to kind of be the outside runner and allowing Andrew Pinnock to really focus on running between the tackles.
Second down, they'll load up 3 wide receivers to the left. Here comes a corner blitz. Jenkins in trouble. They got him. Julian Battle, right corner, came unimpeded.
That's really a good play by Julian Battle, because Corey Jenkins, he is a guy who can really get to the quarterback. He's coming from the offside, or I'm sorry, the other side. But what he did a great job of is not letting an elusive quarterback like Corey Jenkins get out of his grasp. He got there, he broke down, and he made a sure tackle.
Battle started the season as a strong safety, moved over to replace Jabari Greer 4 games ago. See the number of sacks. The production defensively has gone way down this season for Tennessee. 3rd and 22. Out of the gun, 3 down. They bring 4. Jenkins bounces off a tackle, goes deep, and he's going to overthrow everybody. Incomplete. Mikhail Goodman was the closest Carolina receiver.
Well, good pressure again by the Tennessee defense. You mentioned the sacks and a couple factors. Before the season began, they lost their best pass rusher, Constantine Richmond, to a knee injury. And then their best defender, who was also a good blitzing linebacker, Kevin Burnett, the linebacker, was hurt in the first game. So they're missing a couple of their best pass rushers before this season even got going.
Tyler Dean is on to punt on 4th down now. And Mark Jones is back to return it. Bobbled right through the hands, and it will be a Carolina recovery. South Carolina has it. Kevin Saylor, number 67.
Special teams in a game like this with 2 good defenses. Special teams flipping the field and then making a big play. And this is just a case of a guy who is just a little anxious to run with the football. And Kevin Jones let it go right through the breadbasket. And a huge break now for the Carolina Gamecocks.
Well, 9 turnovers have led to 47 points thus far. Lou Holtz said they must win the kicking game if they're to win this game. And they get an early edge now on the turnover on a 1st down at the 16-yard line. Jenkins goes from the spread formation again with Pinnock to his left. Now to his right. Jenkins still has it. Picks up 2. Well, let's watch Philip Fulmer watch the fumble just a moment ago.
Well, he's seen too many of those this year. I mean, there's no question. I mean, this is a team that has fumbled more than they're 1 less fumble than they had all of last season now with that one right there.
2nd down and 8. Scoreless first quarter, 9:34 remaining. 48% production for South Carolina in the red zone. Here's the shovel pass. Pinnock cannot break the tackle on the corner. And he picks up 3. Keon Whiteside, number 50. Eddie Moore, also a part of it.
They have not been South Carolina that is very good in the red zone at all. Last in the conference. And they've gotten down in there and they've not protected the football. They've had 3 missed field goals. They've had an interception. They've had 4 fumbles, all in the red zone so far this season. They've got to be able to capitalize on this good field position.
Freshman Dacus Turner, number 20, is in as a member of the straight T formation on 3rd and 3. And Kenny Irons gets the handoff, and he is stuffed. Or it's Dacus Turner, rather.
Boy, what a stop by Eddie Moore. There was penetration first, but Eddie Moore came and really finished this up, and he hit him high. On a short yardage situation, you don't want to hit a guy low where he can fall forward for the 1st down. Eddie Moore is going to come in high, right there, shoulder pad level high, and then drive him back. Excellent play by the senior from South Pittsburgh High School.
One of the tri-captains of this team. That's going to bring on Daniel Weaver for his 11th field goal attempt this year. He's 7 of 10. This one from 26 yards out. The hole by Eric Kimry. Kick is up. And off the fumbled punt return. South Carolina gets on the scoreboard first. Weaver is good from 26. And the Gamecocks take an early lead over Tennessee. We play in Columbia, South Carolina. And it's 3-0 South Carolina over the Volunteers. Welcome back to Columbia. Midway through the first, South Carolina gets a 26-yard field goal, and they take a 3-0 lead. Now, Joey Bowers is the kickoff man for the Gamecocks. Corey Larkins is deep for Tennessee, and the Volunteers #1 in NCAA football in kickoff returns. They average 28 yards per return, but they won't get that on this one. As Larkins will take a knee, and this will come out to the 20-yard line.
That kick looked like Hoyt Wilhelm kicked it. That was a good knuckleball. Really threw off Corey Larkins.
Joey Bowers gets the job done, and the Volunteers come on offense. And the leader, an injured wing for the quarterback, Casey Clausen. It is his left shoulder.
Yeah, it's his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder, but still very painful. He had his worst game last week against Alabama, but he didn't practice very much. And I think that his performance last week was more attributed to his lack of practice time than his injury. He should be much better today.
Well, that's a rough start as Jabari Davis bumps into Casey Clausen. Casey Clausen, just a miserable effort at home in Knoxville before more than 107,000. First set the tone for the night with his controversial lateral. It was returned 66 yards by Gerald Dixon for an Alabama touchdown. And that just kind of set the mood for the night. There was an interception for a touchdown. Here's the critical play. Interception in the end zone in all. Clausen was picked off 3 times. And he did not get a touchdown for the first time in 12 games. Here's the handoff up the middle. As we check the rest of the offense for the Volunteers. Offensive line, it's Munoz, Young, Wells, Smith, and the tri-captain Will Offenhuzel. Jabari Davis gets the start at tailback. Cedric Houston is available today. He's been injured. It's Fleming, Brown, and Leonard Scott, and Kelly Washington did not make the trip. He missed last week's game because of concussion. Also, we're told, suffering from an Achilles injury, and he is not with the team. Casey Clausen said last night, we have no big play ability without him. Clock winding down. They get it called. Davis, big hole, and a bigger one. He doesn't have great speed, but he comes right, and he's being chased inside the 20 and is down at the 10.
Carolina ganged up on the line of scrimmage. They played an 8-man front, and when you do that, you take a chance of weakening yourself on the perimeter. Now look at that. All those guys up around the ball. If you get through the first line of defense, which they did, a block by Fleming and a block by Wells, and then Jabari Davis is off to the races. But when you commit that many guys to the line of scrimmage, if you get through that initial line, you got a lot of territory to run. Good blocking on the second level by the fullback, Troy Fleming, and the center, Scott Wells.
You saw that as a career long of 62 yards and a first down at the 10. Here's the handoff. It goes to Cedric Houston, who's got a fractured thumb on his left hand. He is playing with a cast, but he at least is back in action now. He's been out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I made the point that nobody has really stepped up as a marquee tailback like Tennessee's accustomed to having. I think this guy, Cedric Houston, was on his way to that earlier in the year. Then he got a thigh bruise and he was out. Then he broke the thumb, and so the last 6 games or 5 games, he's only had 6 carries, only 29. That was just his 30th carry of the season, so he's really behind in terms of reps.
Deep back in the eye now. And he gets the handoff at left tackle. Good block from Fleming, the fullback. And he's bounced out of bounds at the 2.5-yard line. Dante Robinson gets the tackle, number 32. Opening drives for the Volunteers thus far this year only have scored once. Other times, 3 punts, 2 missed field goals, and a lost fumble. So a chance today to score for only the 2nd time on the first drive of a game. 3rd down.
And the guy you want to keep your eye on right now is the tight end, Jason Witten. He's lined up over here on this side. Casey Clausen's favorite target right now without Kelly Washington.
Here's Clausen rolling out to his right, drills it, caught, touchdown. C.J. Phaeton, a freshman. A 2-yard touchdown, and Tennessee takes the lead.
Nice drive on the road. You get the big run by Jabari Davis, and then you protect the backside, and you roll your quarterback out a little bit. Motion, get your quarterback out of the pocket, and a nice little soft touch pass to C.J. Phaeton running away from Rashard Faison. There's Witten. They kept him in the block, and he protects the backside of Casey Clausen for the touchdown.
That is the first career touchdown for the redshirt freshman C.J. Phaeton. Only his 5th catch of the year. Alex Wall, the senior, it's blocked. He's been bothered by a pulled quad, and that one goes right into the line.
I think Mo Thompson, number 91, the freshman defensive end, may have got a hand on it, but a very, very low kick, and the second block kick for Alex Walls of the season.
C.J. Phaeton, a redshirt freshman, Virginia Beach, Virginia. First career touchdown. The extra point blocked. Actually kicked into the line of scrimmage. And the Gamecocks find themselves trailing by 3. Philip Newman will kick off for the Volunteers. Thez Robinson and Matthew Thomas, wearing number 15, await the kick. This one's short. Thomas moves up, grabs it at the 6. And South Carolina will take over at the 24-yard line. That gives us a moment to check in New York. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, a Big 12 championship preview perhaps after a fumble by Chris Brown of Colorado. Nate Hibble to a wide open Antoine Savage. Moments ago, Hibble was picked off, so Colorado inside the 5 of Oklahoma right now, trailing by 7.
All right, thank you, Tim. It's 6-3 here, and South Carolina with the ball for the 3rd time. A first down at their own 24.
That first series did South Carolina 2 reverses, and they faked a reverse, all trying to take advantage of the aggressiveness of this Tennessee defense.
Here's the fake handoff, and Jenkins going deep, wants Williamson deep. There's a battle for the ball as Williamson slipped. Good downfield coverage by the Volunteers. It's incomplete at the 31. Let's take another look at that touchdown.
Well, here's Rashard Faison right here. Now, he is the guy that's responsible for coverage on this receiver when he comes across. But what you'll see is Faison has to kind of go around the official. He has to kind of get looped out, and that means he kind of loses position on that inside receiver. You see he's trailing it the whole way, and Clausen able to find him and get him the football.
And
just a well-designed play, taking advantage of the motion to loosen up the coverage.
on 2nd down, Dacus Turman, number 20, picks up a yard. It's going to be 3rd and long.
We heard Lou Holtz in the locker room talk about taking control at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and right now Tennessee getting the better of it, I think, a little bit up front. Their defensive front is kind of controlling things other than the big play on the reverse. You take a look at South Carolina, that's their football game. Run the football, throw deep a couple times. They've got a lot of screens and draws in their package, but this is not the kind of situation they want to be in. 3rd down and 10 against the Tennessee defense.
And timeout is going to be called by South Carolina. They had some problems getting players properly aligned. So the time comes with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first. Volunteers 6-3. South Carolina trails by 3. They've got a 3rd and 10 at their own 24-yard line. 4 wide receivers set and Jenkins in the spread.
I'm sure what Skip Holtz told him during that timeout, don't force anything here. If you don't have it, let's punt the football.
Jenkins will run, tucks it and comes left. There's the stiff arm. He has caught a nice open field tackle. 2nd fine play defensively by Julian Battle.
Julian Battle's a physical corner, but good coverage downfield, and that enabled Julian Battle to just kind of track down Jenkins when he left the pocket. And again, you see the speed of the Tennessee defense, a very difficult defense to run around.
And that's going to bring Tyler Dean on for the 2nd time. Mark Jones, I'm sure a bit nervously, awaits the 2nd punt. He fumbled the last one, muffed it. This one sends Jones back inside the 25. The return begins from the 21-yard line, and he crosses the 30. And Tennessee will take it 1st down and 10. Let's check in once again with Tim Brando in New York.
All right, Vern, Jason Gesser, in my mind, still should be a Heisman candidate. here to Jerome Riley and the where's the defense Pac-10. Arizona State gives up an easy one there. Another All-America quarterback, Byron Leftwich, injured in the game against Akron, has been taken off the field. As soon as we have further news, we'll pass it along to you, Vern.
All right, very sad news for Byron Leftwich with his bid legitimately to claim stake on the Heisman Trophy this year.
I think Tim's right. Jason Gesser certainly a candidate, as is Carson Palmer, the quarterback at USC right now.
And here's a fake reverse for Tennessee on first down, and Jabari Davis runs right into Langston Moore, number 57. Langston Moore, the anchor of this Carolina defense. They open with a 3-3-5 under Charlie Strong, the defensive coordinator. Gauze has moved to a down lineman. It's Moore and Thompson. Then the three starting linebackers are Jeremiah Garrison, Lance Lowry, who's back after 3 weeks out with an injury, and Lemon. And in the secondary, Robinson, Faison, Martin, Island, and Taki Muhammad. Second down and 8. Here's Clausen. Looks left all the way, fires it, and it is incomplete.
Philip Fulmer not happy with the call. It was over by the Tennessee sideline, and the ball came out, but it came out awfully late. It was ruled incomplete, but it looked like the receiver had possession before the ball came out. Let's take a look again, and they are changing the call now. There's the catch. He has it, and the ball comes out late. That's a good call. That was a catch all the way by Montrell Jones.
Montrell Jones gets the first down for Tennessee up at the 46-yard line. Pretty good job of cooperation with the officials. What do you think? Take a look from this angle.
Hard to tell. I think the ball did come out very late. It didn't bounce off of him as soon as it hit him.
Draw play. Houston, nothing. Lance Lowry, number 48, and Jonathan Martin, number 30, with the tackle for South Carolina. Now let's take a look at the last drive. Here's the opening gambit, a 62-yard gamble. G-A-M-B-O-L. That set up the touchdown, and here it is, C.J. Payton. And Tennessee missed the extra point, but they lead 6-3.
For Tennessee, everything revolves around being able to run the football. I formation, run the football, and then when you crowd the line of scrimmage, that's when they like to throw.
They've got Jason Witten split wide right now. Clausen flips it out of the backfield for Houston. Spin move. Dante Robinson, who is playing almost an all-SEC level this year, makes the tackle.
They've had some problems on the other side. They've rotated guys in. They've moved guys from offense to defense, but this guy has been solid. Dante Robinson out of Athens, Georgia, played at Clark Central High School, and he has had an outstanding season with 4 interceptions on the year.
He was a teammate there of Damian Gary,
right,
who is in the hospital having his 3rd surgery for compartment syndrome, an injury that occurred after the game last week in Kentucky, and our best wishes go out to Damian Gary of Georgia. Here's Clausen deep. Boy, he just didn't look solid when he threw that.
Didn't get down on the ball enough. The ball was high. It's tough when you throw the ball high over the middle of the field. Receivers don't necessarily like to go get that. Now he's a little upset, it appears, with Tony Brown, but if I'm Tony Brown, I'm a little upset with Casey Clausen too, right, because Rashard Faison can hit, and you throw him up there, and he got laid out by Rashard Faison at the end of that play.
Dustin Colquitt, who is a finalist for the Ray Guy Award, is on to punt the ball for Tennessee, having a terrific season, and there's an example of it. This one chases Robinson back, and he bobbles it. It's picked up on one hop by Matthew Thomas.
Well, not a good decision by Robinson to even catch that football. You know, you teach guys, put your heels on the 10. If it goes beyond you or over your head, let it go and hope it bounces into the end zone. He caught that ball at about the 5-yard line. Or didn't catch it. I mean, he muffed it at the 5. And take your chances that that thing is going to bounce and go into the end zone. Don't even try to catch this football. And you see Robinson back inside the 5. And again, it gets back to the guy they're missing, Ryan Brewer, Mr. Dependable as their punt returner, the guy who could catch the football. They've had to switch guys on both kickoff return and punt return, and it hurt him right there.
Ryan Brewer, the senior, missing his first game in 43 games. He had that many consecutive starts until today. Here's Jenkins on the quarterback draw. He gets out into the secondary and across the 20 for a first down. Jabril Wilson finally got him, a 17-yard gain.
Well, this is just the toughness of Corey Jenkins. They have him bottled up. I mean, he has nowhere to run right here. They've got him hemmed in, but he breaks one arm tackle, and then watch the end of the play. This is not your average quarterback. He initiates the contact and delivers the blow. I mean, you just don't see many guys doing that in this conference or in any major conference in college football.
And that's a first down after the 17-yard gain. This time South Carolina with 3 receivers split wide left. Jenkins back. Screen pass. James Atkinson, great job defensively. But then the flag is thrown. And this one's going to go against South Carolina. Here's Ryan Brewer, senior from Troy, Ohio, number 21, 43 consecutive games. And he's caught a pass in 32 straight games, which is only 2 shy of the school record.
I talked to him before the game, and you could just tell it was just killing him not to be out there and be out with his team. Such a competitor, has played through pain and injuries a lot through his career, and you see what he's meant to this football team. Leading receiver. He's the kickoff guy, the punt return guy. And he, you know, we were here for the Georgia game, and at the end of the game, when they had to make some plays, you knew they were going to throw the football to Ryan Brewer, and Georgia knew it, and everybody knew it, and he still comes up and makes the plays.
First down. Well, he had off-season ankle surgery in the spring. This is not a reoccurrence of anything relative to that surgery, but he did have a high ankle sprain. Lou Holtz told us it was the worst high ankle sprain the medical staff here had seen in years. First down, the penalty on South Carolina. And here's Andrew Pinnock coming left, spin move, but that puts him right into a double team tackle, and he's down the move led by Keon Whiteside, number 50.
The penalty before this on the screen was against Travell Wharton, the left tackle, who was out there trying to lead on that screen. And again, tough field position for South Carolina.
About 16-yard line. You seen a better day in recent years?
It's beautiful.
Kind of nice. We've reached the end of the first quarter. 6-3 will return to Williams-Brice Stadium after this message and a word. Back in Columbia, South Carolina, the start of the second quarter, Tennessee, a 2-yard touchdown toss. Casey Clausen to C.J. Phaeton. They have a 3-point lead. And South Carolina opens the quarter with 2nd and 16. Jenkins. Screen pass. Left side, caught by Dacus Turman. Skips out of a tackle and is down at the 25-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd down now for South Carolina, a Carolina team that is trying to get back to a 5-4 record, and Tennessee, of course, good start for them.
I think it's been a real good start. You know, sometimes when you go on the road, when things are going tough, it's good because you circle the wagons, you get away from all the distractions, all the talk shows and everything, and you really focus on your business for about 36 hours. And I think they've come out very focused today. Other than the fumble on the punt by Mark Jones, I think they've been clearly the more physical team here in the first quarter.
South Carolina now with a 3rd down and 7. There's Jenkins looking back to his right, shakes a tackle, fires it out for Thaz Robinson, who proceeds to drop the ball.
You know, the one thing that I'm seeing better in Corey Jenkins than I saw when we were here several weeks ago for the Georgia game is that he is not so quick to just take off and run now. When he leaves the pocket, he's keeping his eyes downfield, and he's looking for places to throw it instead of automatically running when the first option's not there. That's not his fault. He did what he had to do at the quarterback position.
Tyler Dean on to punt on 4th down, and Mark Jones waits at the 35 of Tennessee. Nice and high for Dean. Jones lets it go, and it takes a sideways bounce. There is a flag back near midfield.
Field position so critical in a game like this. 2 good defenses. You anticipate a low scoring type game, and who can flip the field? Which punt team can flip the field in special teams? And a penalty on a punt return really hurts your cause.
And Jay Bynes indicating this will go against the Volunteers. And Philip Fulmer in quest of his 100th career victory today.
Get back on the receiving team. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
You know, the one thing I really appreciate about Philip, I mean, I like him a lot, but I really appreciate he has not used the injury to his football team as an excuse for the problems they've had. They've kept fighting.
Tennessee with a 6-3 lead. They're banned in the sunlight now as they operate with the first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. South Carolina has gone to a 4-down lineman defense. Here's the toss left side. And good pursuit, Rashad Faison at the 25-yard line. And let's check in with Jill Arrington.
Well, Vern, Coach Holtz is known for his wisdom, and on September 2nd was the release of Coach Holtz's 5th book, a motivational one called A Teen's Game Plan for Life. Coach Holtz says it's important to share core values in life. Ask 3 questions and live by 3 rules. If you do the right thing, it'll generate some trust. If you always do your best, it'll generate excellence. And if you show people you care, they'll believe in you and the program. He says these 3 rules, they work for football, careers, and life, Vern.
All right, Jill, thank you. 2nd down and 10. They work for his defense on that play. Here comes the blitz. Good blitz pickup. And Jason Witten with the catch. And that's going to be enough for the first down at the 35-yard line. And Todd, Charlie Strong has gone to a 4-man front.
Yeah, it was something that they talked about maybe doing next year. They lost a couple great cover guys, and so it made it a little tougher playing the 3-man front that they've used the last 2 years so successfully. But they decided during the open week was a good time to make the switch. So they started the game in their normal 3-man front, but ever since then they've been with 4-down linemen, and they think it gets their best players on the field. Plus it gives them a better opportunity to get pressure on the quarterback.
First down on that last pass completion to Jason Witten. A 6-3 game. Here's Clausen quickly left side. Catch is made by Chris Hannon, his 3rd catch of the season, as Clausen spreads it around, and we go to Tim Brandley.
All right, Vern, the Cougars now putting some separation between themselves and Arizona State. Great play action fake by Gesser to Troy Bieneman. And we want to update Byron Leftwich. He came back into the game for Marshall, led them to a score, then re-injured his ankle, and has now been taken to the locker room in that matchup with Akron. Vern?
All right, Tim, sorry for that news. That doesn't augur well for Brian Leftwich. 2nd down on that last pass play to Chris Hannon. Up the middle it goes. Jabari Davis out to the 46-yard line.
You can see how much better Casey Clausen looks this week than he did last Saturday night against Alabama. And again, I get back to the point of practice time. You know, even with an experienced guy and a guy who's played in a lot of games like Casey Clausen, there's still that matter of being sharp and having that timing with your receivers that you lose if you don't find yourself on the practice field. And Casey had a good full week of practice this week, and it's showing in the first half of this ball game. He looks very sharp, and there's some zip on the football.
Well, they'll stretch the chain. The injury again is in his left shoulder. Caused him to miss 1 game. Here's the stretch, and it is just short.
Yeah. And ironically, the thing that gives him the most pain, what he told me yesterday during their walkthrough, is actually taking the snap. When he's under center taking a snap, it's that jolt where the ball hits his hands. That's causing the most pain for him right now, more so than throwing or handing off gives him some problems too, but it's that taking the snap when he's under center that really hurts.
Rice leading Tulsa 14-0.
Those feisty Nightbirds at it again.
Oh. 3rd and inches. Fleming and Davis are the backs behind Clausen.
Probably won't see a quarterback sneak here with Casey Clausen's shoulder.
Thinking the same thing.
And that would be the normal call here with this short a yardage, but they still do it.
Oh, for crying out loud. Well, move the pile, Scott Wells did, the center, along with Sean Young and Chavis Smith. I know you think that their offensive line hasn't played as well as they should have this year.
Well, and I think the injuries, again, you get back to it. They've really been hurt at the guard position. They have 5 guards, and 4 of them have been injured or banged up throughout the season. Now, Scott Wells, the center, has had an outstanding season, and the South Carolina coach is really aware of what kind of year he's had. They've been okay at tackle injury-wise, but their guards have really been banged up, and I think that's led them to be a little inconsistent up front.
Anthony Herrera is in at guard now. Here's the draw play. Nice defensive job on Jabari Davis. And he loses a yard as the tackle is made by Sean Smith. Regional action tomorrow. The NFL on CBS at 1 o'clock Eastern. Big one is New England at Buffalo. Drew Bledsoe will perform before Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms and Armin Katayan. Jets are at San Diego. It all begins with the NFL today, tomorrow, noon Eastern time.
Well, me and my boys will be watching Pittsburgh and Cleveland. That's one of the great rivalries in our part of the world.
Yes, it is. Second down. Here comes the blitz from South Carolina. Clausen dodges it. Looks for blocking help. He gets it from Olfenhuzel. Then finds Jason Witten, the tight end, and a first down at the 32-yard line.
Great job by Casey Clausen, just buying time. You know, he's not known as a scrambler. In fact, sometimes people, you know, kind of get on him a little bit about his running style, but he does a great job of just eluding the blitz. Gets outside, and you see his eyes are downfield. He doesn't want to run it there. He just wants to find somebody to get the ball to, and Jason Witten is his guy. He eluded Jonathan Martin. Martin was caught looking back at the quarterback, and Jason Witten slipped behind him.
That is a gain of 22 yards and a first down. Tennessee at the 31 now officially of South Carolina. Montrell Jones in motion. They hand it off left side to Cedric Houston. And he gets to the 28-yard line. The tackle made by Sean Smith.
I think one of the real big-time battles in this ball game today is inside with Scott Wells, the center, and Langston Moore, the nose guard. Although he's playing in a 3 technique or a defensive tackle position now with this 4-man front, but he'll still be blocked a lot by Scott Wells and the guards. Those are 2 outstanding football players in this game, and controlling Langston Moore is the key to controlling the South Carolina defense.
Here's the toss. Houston comes left, hit behind the line by Dante. Nope. It's Jermaine Lemon, 36, not 32. And Rashad Faison also part of it. It'll bring up third down.
How do you take care of Langston Moore? You toss the ball away from him, and then you cut him. The guard comes down and goes after the legs, and you run the ball away from him. And again, this is a little bit new. Langston Moore used to playing right over the nose of the center. A little different position now, although he likes it a little bit better.
Tennessee is 3 of 4 on third down conversions thus far. They need 6 here.
And this is the area where South Carolina has really struggled this season.
Not this time. Mo Thompson, number 91.
Thompson!
Nice little twist on the inside by South Carolina. It starts with Langston Moore. He's the guy. Now here he is, 57. He's going to get blocked pretty well. They've got a couple guys taking care of Langston Moore, but Mo Thomas on an inside stunt on the other side. Here's Thompson coming in on the inside stunt and goes right to the quarterback. Again, the guard position missed that protection, and that's where they've had their problems.
And that loss of 8 takes them out of field goal range, so Dustin Colquitt kicks it off the side of his foot. There's a flag that's been thrown on the far side of the field. The punt, very ineffective, out of bounds at the 26. It's good for 4 yards if the play stands.
Sometimes when you have a punter that kicks it as far as Colquitt does, has such a strong leg, those little pooch ones are tough for him. And I think that South Carolina will decline this penalty and take the ball in good position.
Against the kicking team, it's decline, first down.
Again, special teams. That's a situation. You got stuffed on third down. You punt the football with the idea you're going to pin them deep, and you don't do it.
But the sack prevented the attempt at the field goal as well. We'll continue after this word from your local station. Monday on television's most watched new show, CSI Miami. It's the ultimate girls' night out until one of their boy toys parties till he drops. Don't miss an all-new CSI Miami Monday on CBS, America's most watched network. I hasten to add, I read them as they write them.
Boy toy.
Boy toys. First down and 10. Here's the snap back. Jenkins pumps once. Wants to go deep for Atkinson. Double coverage. And an overthrown ball is intercepted with ease by Rashad Baker. That is his 5th interception of the season.
Well, again, Corey Jenkins is still kind of learning about playing quarterback position. He's going to go out and up. So here's the pump fake. He fakes it. Now he's got to get it up in the air sooner than this because the safety is who comes over and makes the play. The pump fake beat the corner, but Rashad Baker, the safety, was able to get over and make the interception, his 5th of the season. When Corey Jenkins makes that pump fake, he's got to reload quickly and get that ball in the air so the safety can't come over and make the play.
That is also the 10th career interception for Rashad Baker. And the turnover gives Tennessee a first down at their own 29-yard line. Backs in the eye, 6'3". William Revel is the fullback, now number 45. Houston hauled down from behind. Tackle made by Jonathan Martin. Follow top 25 games with real-time scores and stats. Just click on NCAA football at CBSSportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
Well, the guy that made that tackle, Jonathan Martin's having a great season. He came on a blitz from outside and chased the play down. He's a leading tackler on the team. Had 17 tackles in the loss in Baton Rouge against LSU last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather.
On second down, here's the give left side. Cedric Houston, number 21. Again, Jonathan Martin began his career here as a running back and had kind of a star-crossed first couple of years. Injuries in each of his first 2 seasons prevented him from playing a single down. He's going to pass on a request for a medical red shirt. Said he spent 5 years in Columbia and at the University of South Carolina. He's going to hope he gets a chance to play in the NFL.
And this is his first year as a starter, you know, and he's making the most of it. He really has played well. Very aggressive young player, playing strong safety.
That last carry by Houston, good for a first down at the 39-yard line.
Played at Richland Northeast High School. I saw they played here last night against Irmo High School and lost 7-6. Irmo won. Stayed undefeated.
Irmo won?
Yeah, I think so. Read those local high school sports scores.
Well, you never know the nuggets you might find there. Big game coming up in Ohio tonight, I heard. First down and 10. It looked like a little bit of a mix-up on the play, but Houston makes something out of it as he comes left to the 46-yard line. Let's get an injury update from Jill Arrington on the sideline. Jill?
Well, those injuries keep piling up for Tennessee. Safety Jabril Wilson, he has a bruised left knee. They're icing it now, and they're going to evaluate him at halftime, see if they can get him back.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Jabril Wilson moved into the starting lineup when they moved Julian Battle from strong safety to corner. So if he can't go, they may have to move Battle back to that strong safety spot.
That would bring Jabari Greer, I assume, in at the cornerback spot. Second down and 3 Volunteers. They lead it 6-3. There's the toss and the sweep to the left side, the short side of the field. That should be good for a first down at the 50-yard line. Well, they've lost any number of guys. Kevin Simon and Kevin Burnett out for the season. Constantine Ritzman, so there's 3 defenders. Neal missed 3 games. Washington just don't know when, if he will be back. Cedric Houston missed a game, but he's been hampered. Walls, the place kicker, and Casey Clausen. And I know you talked to Philip Fulmer. His daughter was injured a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, his daughter was injured playing a powder puff football game. He's got 3 daughters, and his youngest daughter was playing in the powder puff football game and got wiped out by her sister.
Here's Clausen across the middle for Witten, and he is wide open at the 30-yard line. At the 27, it's a first down following a 23-yard gain.
Jason Witten, the only guy on this team who's caught a pass in every game, and with Kelly Washington out, he is the go-to guy, and too much room for him to run in the field. That's the free safety, DeAndre Island, who was beaten badly that time by Jason Witten. And the thing about Witten is, as big as he is, he can really run. I mean, he can get down the middle of the field in a hurry, and he made South Carolina pay on that one.
Clausen 7 of 8 for 79 yards. And a first down, Tennessee with a 3-point lead, under 7 to go, first half. Here's the reverse. Leonard Scott comes left, gets a block, and speeds inside the 15, out of bounds at the 11. Jameisha Jackson caught up with him.
Leonard Scott scored on that play against Alabama last week. He's got great speed, and sometimes a little inconsistent catching the football, but they do it the easy way. They just hand it to him and let him use that speed. Got a nice block by Michael Munoz to left tackle, and then just once he got headed north and south, he showed you that burst that he has.
Scott is a sprinter on the Tennessee track and field team. He gets a rest now, and Clausen and the Volunteers have a first down at the 11. It's Davis is the deep back in the eye. He gets the toss, and they come weak side again.
And this has been Tennessee football. We talked about they haven't been able to play Tennessee football, but this is Tennessee football. I formation, run the football. When they bring people in there, you make some quick throws against man-to-man coverage. They hit their tight end. They've really done a nice job. They've run the ball 20 times, and they've only thrown it 8 times. And look at that rushing yardage so far. Randy Sanders doing a nice job mixing up the plays and getting back to old-style Tennessee football.
Second down, backs in the eye again. Here's Clausen with the change. And Davis tests the middle. Mo Thompson gets him from behind, number 91. And that's going to bring up a third down.
I just want to go back and clear up that story on the injury. It was Allison Fulmer, his youngest daughter, who was playing powder puff football, and her sister Brittany is the one who kind of clipped her, and she had surgery on Monday, and I guess she was a heck of a basketball player too, but is going to miss the basketball season. So you know it's been a tough year for injuries when even your daughter gets hurt. I mean, they've lost all those players. Your kicker gets hurt, and your youngest daughter gets hurt too. And the oldest daughter, Courtney, is here with the family. She made the trip down from Knoxville. Well, Volunteers are going to have to burn a timeout. They call time with 5:23 to go. They are threatening with a 6-3 lead. 5:23 to go after the timeout. A third down coming up now for Tennessee. Cedric Houston is the running back. 2 wide receivers out to the right side. Brown and Jones. They go in the corner, and it is incomplete. Fourth down.
Yeah, they went after the best cover corner in Dante Robinson, and he played it perfectly. He was in great position. He knew exactly where the sideline was and could just use that to help him defend the receiver. So a good stop by South Carolina. Now remember, on the extra point, Alex Walls didn't get that ball up at all. It was very low. Let's see what how he handles this field goal attempt.
He's also had 1 field goal blocked this season. Remember, we talked about Walls pulling a quad in the warm-ups of the game. This one from 24 yards out, and it is good. So that doubles the Tennessee lead. They get 3 out of this drive. A 24-yard field goal for Alex Walls. Volunteers up 9-3. Wednesday on CBS, don't miss the most anticipated live performance in years when Shania Twain opens the Country Music Association Awards, plus Alan Jackson, Martina McBride, George Strait, Brooks and Dunn, and Faith Hill. With the #1 album in the country, Vince Gill will host the CMA Awards live Wednesday here on CBS. Tape job on Casey Clausen. And Philip Newman getting ready to kick off for the Volunteers with a 9-3 lead. Farabee and Thomas are the deep men, and they can't decide who will take it.
They've looked really bad on kickoff return so far. I mean, they have not been good doing that.
There are 117 teams playing Division I football. South Carolina is ranked 110th in kickoff returns. Lou Holtz, if he wins today, will break a current tie that he holds with Woody Hayes for numbers of victory. He's number 8 on the all-time list with 238 wins. Got a chance to go on top of him today, and will no doubt do it sometime this year. Here's a first down and 10. And Pinnock goes left with room, gets by Eddie Moore, and is knocked out of bounds after a 15-yard gain up at the 35-yard line. There's Lou Holtz. Back in 1968, he was reminiscing with us yesterday, Todd, about having served for 1 year as an assistant coach with Woody Hayes. Said he was hired as a defensive backfield coach for $13,000 for the year. And Woody Hayes and the staff coached 16 sophomores to a national title that year.
Yeah, I almost felt like we needed to pay like a ticket price yesterday because we were entertained in his office with stories about Woody Hayes.
Yeah, we got the banquet speech. Here's Jenkins out to the 39-yard line. Robert Peace and Keon Whiteside. And one of the things that Lou Holtz does each year is bring a group of his high school classmates from the class of 1954 in East Liverpool, Ohio, down to a game at South Carolina. We met 12 of them yesterday, and they're here in the end zone. He was very interested. Speaking of high school scores, East Liverpool played Marietta in the Division II playoffs last night, and they won it 20-14. Handoff goes to Pinnock. That would be the East Liverpool Potters.
That's correct.
You know that, right?
I played against East Liverpool when I was a senior at North Canton Hoover. Big win for the Potters.
North Canton's got a big game tonight.
Maslin Tigers.
There's Bill Roush, who was best man at Lou and Beth Holtz's wedding and a teammate at 1954 for the Potters team. And he heads the group of 12 who is here hoping for a South Carolina victory today. Jenkins dancing right. Watch out from behind. Out of bounds. Nifty run.
Very nifty run. And again, he was looking downfield first. And then he made the right decision of not throwing this because he had a good running lane. He avoids the blitz. They came after him. He gets away from the pressure, but his eyes are still looking to where he can throw the football. And again, that's part of his maturing as a quarterback. And then right there, when he tucks the ball, you know he's going to run it. And he knows exactly how to get the first down. No slides by this guy.
And that's good for a first down. I think just to complete the high school story, Corey Jenkins played for Dreyer High School here in Columbia. And they defeated AC Flora last night 24-6.
You read the same sports page I did.
I did. Yeah, over coffee this morning. Here's the reverse. Michael Ages dodges a tackle and gets to the 45-yard line. That's a nice piece of work for Ages. Rashad Baker makes the tackle.
Well, the third reverse now that South Carolina has run. They ran a couple early. Again, what you run a reverse for is to try to get the defense going one way and then come back the other way. So Jenkins is trying to fool the defense, and Cedric Williams and Shane Hall out there getting blocks to spring him. Michael Ages is really having a nice year in his senior year. He started this season with only 7 career catches, and so far 18 catches in this his final season.
Second down and 1, under 3 to go before the break. They fake to the fullback and give it off to Thez Robinson, number 6, out of that straight T formation that looks like East Liverpool in 1954.
You're right. I mean, that's old-fashioned football. T formation, kind of counter action, fake to the fullback, give to the crossing tailback, and a good conversion on second and short. Now, one of the areas that they really miss is Ryan Brewer in these short yardage situations. Watch him fake to the fullback and then a little cross action here. This is old-time football. And they get the first down.
First down at the 41-yard line, a 9-3 game with 2:30 to go. Jenkins will keep. Got about a yard. Now South Carolina trying to end a 10-year drought. Take a look at the SEC moment presented by Sonic, the 10th anniversary of their last win. South Carolina scored the only first quarter points in '92. This Steve Tannehill to Mike Reddick touchdown pass. Tennessee trailing by 7 in the fourth quarter scored on a Heath Schuler pass to Mose Phillips with 2:20 left. Johnny Majors decided to go for 2 as the coach. The effort denied, and South Carolina won it 24-23. They've not won since. Time has been called by South Carolina. Clock stops with the Gamecocks looking at a second down and 9. 2:01 to go before the break. At the end of the game, we'll be selecting the Army player of the game. Tennessee leading right now 9-3. Second down and 9.
You know, the last 2 years, South Carolina has really played Tennessee well. They've lost by a total of 10 points combined because they play the same brand of football. They're a physical football team. And the only thing, they've kind of wilted a little bit in the fourth quarter against Tennessee the last 2 years, but they're starting to get into this game and play at the same physical level that Tennessee is right now.
Pinnock is the short back in the eye. Here's the option play with Jenkins. He's got a trailing back, but he keeps it. Corey Jenkins down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, not very well defended that time by Tennessee. They got surprised by the option. This is a load option, which means you lead with the fullback. Pinnock is going to be the lead blocker here. There's no fake to the fullback. He's lead blocker. You've got a quarterback and a pitchman, and there is nobody out there. I mean, Pinnock doesn't even have anybody to block until way down the field. Hart Turner, the tight end, Travell Wharton on the left side just wiped out the Tennessee defense.
That is a gain of 15, a first down at the 26. Here's the option again. The pitch to Kenny Irons with Pinnock in front. And the freshman running back is stopped at the 20-yard line by Julian Battle. Gateway halftime report coming up. Tim Brando and Spencer Tillman back in our New York studios with scores and highlights. All 8 of the undefeated teams in action today. Saw one upset in the process earlier. Little battle of Boston College and Notre Dame.
Yeah, halftime.
Second down from the 20. Jenkins wants a screen, flips it out, bobbled and dropped by Andrew Pinnock. Hands a problem. This is a drop pass, but Pinnock, bothered by fumbles earlier in the year. Game season opener, New Mexico State. Andrew Pinnock fumble in the 24 as they had a lead of 13-10 in the third quarter. Then twice at home against Georgia inside the 5. Here the most critical. That was a play around David Pollock. They were heading for the end zone, and Georgia held and won it 13-7.
And again, this is the area in the game and in the field where you miss Ryan Brewer. You know, 3rd down and 5 on the 20-yard line. You want to keep the drive going. You know he's going to be where you want him to make a play. And somebody else has to step up now for the Gamecocks.
3 receivers out. Here's Jenkins on 3rd down. Drills it across the middle, and it's too high for Andre Gause, who was there at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, he had good protection, first of all, to watch the play develop. And then he's going to see Andrew Gause right in the middle of the field, but he's not going to be able to get the ball down. And he's got great protection, and there he is. The ball's just too high. Not able to get it down for his intended receiver, Gause. Zone defense, he goes right into the hole, and he's open, and it would have been a first down. But Jenkins a little tough, a little high on the throw.
Daniel Weaver from 37 yards out. Eric Kimry will hold it. Didn't get it. Just outside the left upright. So that 12-play drive comes up nada for South Carolina.
Boy, and nothing takes the wind out of your sails more than that. You move the football, you've been physical, you get down there, you miss on a 3rd down, but you want to get points. And he just pulled it left. And they still trail by 6.
So Weaver unsuccessful from 37 yards away. And now 55 seconds to go before the break. And Tennessee, I'm sure, will try and just head to the locker room with a 6-point lead.
Victory formation. Just take the knee and on the road go in with the good 6-point lead in a hard-fought battle.
Now, big game of the week coming up tonight. Florida and Georgia down in Jacksonville. Earlier today, Auburn defeated Ole Miss in Oxford by 7. Alabama rolling over Vanderbilt. Boy, are they playing well. Arkansas leading Troy State in the 4th. And Kentucky now has come from behind to take a lead over Mississippi State in the 3rd quarter of play.
You know, we saw our director Bob Fishman got the shot earlier of Casey Clausen getting his right ankle taped, and he's limping rather noticeably here as the first half comes to an end. You can see they put an extra wrap job on him. So I'm sure that'll be something we'll have to keep an eye on here in the second half.
Casey missed 1 game with that badly injured left shoulder. James Banks is the backup, a true freshman out of Indianapolis, Indiana. And Jill is with Philip Fulmer. Jill.
Coach Fulmer, we see him working a little bit on Casey's ankle. Is it okay?
He's okay, yeah. He's a tough guy.
You told us coming into the game that you wanted to play Tennessee football. You're running the ball well down the field, but how do you get in the end zone?
We've got to get it in the end zone. Maybe we need to just run it into the end zone, but we're better. We're closer to where we want to be. There'll be an opportunity for us in the second half to win this football game, running the football and making a play in the passing game. There's some plays to be made out there.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jill. They've done fairly well when going into the third quarter with a halftime lead under Philip Fulmer's leadership. Time for us to spend halftime with Tim Brando back in New York. Quarter before more than 80,000 here in Columbia, South Carolina. Sunday on CBS, the last Bond in theaters, the first time on network television. We need a hero more than ever, and he's just the man for the job. Pierce Brosnan is Bond. Don't miss The World Is Not Enough at a special time. Sunday, 8:30, 7:30 Central on CBS, America's most watched network. And you're watching Lou Holtz right now, who's expressing a little of the frustration he felt in the first half. Philip Fulmer also had his moments. We'll be right back. 9-3 Tennessee leads as we get set for the start of the quarter number 3. Game being brought to you in HD TV. And in the second quarter, Casey Clausen sacked by Mo Thompson.
Watch his right ankle as he got rolled back, and that's what he was having attended to on the sideline. And when he came out for the last series, he had it pretty heavily wrapped, and now warming up for Tennessee, C.J. Leak and James Banks, the number 2 and number 3 quarterback. We saw both of them against Georgia a few weeks ago. Leak actually started the game, but James Banks played the majority of the football game and did a nice job, particularly as he settled down in the fourth quarter.
And no sign of Casey Clausen after the halftime break on the Tennessee bench. Corey Larkins back to return this kickoff. Joey Bowers sends it deep. It bounces in front of Larkins. He picks it up on one hop at the 5. And then good downfield coverage. Taki Mohammed made the tackle, and just a moment ago, Jill Arrington chatted with Lou Holtz.
Coach Holtz, a 12-play drive, no points on the board. That's got to be frustrating. What are you going to have to do to get some points?
Well, we just have to forget who we're playing. I mean, we drop a screen pass that's going to get down inside the 10. We haven't dropped that all week. We drop a third down pass wide open. Well, let's just play our own game, and let's not give them anything. Let's just execute. We don't need a great play. We've lost James Atkinson. We've lost Mike Wagey. So we're hurting a wide receiver a little bit now. We're hurting coming in without Ryan Brewer, but hey, we'll just have to go and just play our game. That's all.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Good luck.
Casey Clausen makes his way out of the locker room, and Jill will hustle over to the Tennessee sideline, I'm sure, and we'll have an update shortly. But James Banks, the true freshman out of Indianapolis, Indiana, who is as much a running threat as he is a throwing threat, is in at quarterback.
Yeah, and by this time now, defenses and Charlie Strong, the coordinator, very aware of what James Banks can do. He was 10 of 15 throwing the football against Georgia a few weeks ago, but also, as you mentioned, a very dangerous runner.
And there's the handoff for the second consecutive time to Jabari Davis. Well, obviously the big question now coming into the third quarter, the Casey Clausen, can he go or can he not go?
Well, that'll be interesting to find out. The good news for Tennessee is that they're running the football with some success. That's going to take a pressure off of James Banks if he has to play this second half. So that's the good thing for him. Plus, James Banks, again, he played very well in his last extended action against Georgia.
3rd and 3, Tennessee. And here is Banks rolling to his left with Troy Fleming in front. He gets a block from Fleming. Loose, hit from behind. Big gain, Tennessee to the 45.
This is the dimension that James Banks gives you. This is a called rollout. Now he's looking to throw first, but he knows if it's not there, I've got the ability to do this, to tuck it and to burst and to make a big run for the first down. Now the most important thing for James Banks right now is to protect the football. The one turnover in this ball game that Tennessee had led to the only points that South Carolina has been able to put on the board. And for them in the second half, I think that's their major thing, is protect the football.
Gain of 17 for Banks on that play and a first down at the 45.
Clock ran out on him.
Yep, this will cost him 5. Casey Clausen Jr., Northridge, California. And Jill's got more. Jill?
Well, Vern, it is a right ankle sprain. He will be back in the game. He was late coming out because they were retaping it, but he should be back in the game.
All right, thank you, Jill.
He's a tough guy. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, there is no question about how tough of a competitor he is. I'm sure they x-rayed it to make sure nothing was broken, and once they got that report, able to kind of retape it and go for it. So James Banks in for this series, and he got the big first down a few plays ago.
5-yard penalty, 1st and 15 from the 40. Fleming again, the fullback. Play fake, Banks. Chased by Jonathan Martin's got his big tight end, and Witten can't hang on. DeAndre Island got back, and Lance Lowry might have tipped it.
Bootleg action, and Witten is a big target, so he sees him and sees he's open, but Lance Lowry is going to get his hands on the football and does a nice job, almost comes up with the pick. Lowry missed 3 games after getting scope surgery on his knee, being injured in the Vanderbilt game. He was kind of a backup and special teams guy against LSU 2 weeks ago, but he's back as the starter at linebacker today.
2nd and 15, 9-3, Tennessee with the lead. Well snaps it back, a designed quarterback run. Banks gets a great block on the corner, but a good defensive recovery by Dante Robinson. There's also a flag down at the 46-yard line.
Well, they blitzed him. I mean, they came after him, and James Banks shows you his quickness to get away from the pressure. That's Takeem Muhammad, who blitzed and chased him the whole way. I mean, he figured, if I'm going to run this far, I'm going to get the tackle, and he did get the tackle.
2 weeks ago, as Todd mentioned, 10 of 15 for 168. And Clausen may be ready to come back on the field.
Well, one of the problems that's been for Tennessee this year is penalties. They lead the SEC in penalty yardage, and when you look at what has happened to them compared to their opponents this year, it's unbelievable. I mean, look at that, 60 coming into today, and only 33 for their opponents. And that's a lot of yardage to give up in the course of football games in these first 7 games.
3 penalties today for 24 yards after that last one. Here's the draw play. Clausen, a fake draw. And Clausen with a safety valve toss to Witten. They get 3 or 4 to the 41-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Lowry and Jeremiah Garrison. Let's check the stats at halftime.
Well, the thing that stands out to me and where South Carolina has to do something is right there. 14 yards rushing. They've run the ball well, but they've got to find a way to complete some passes. And Troy Williamson, I think, is the guy they've got to get the football to, particularly as Lou told Jill, if Atkinson is out, as is Michael Ages, Troy Williamson, their only real deep threat or big play guy on offense.
Clausen with a wounded wing and a bad right ankle. But he is in at quarterback on 3rd and 13. Fires it deep left side. And it's incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Nice play by Dante Robinson again. I mean, the receiver was open initially, but that's a long throw for any quarterback, and particularly one that maybe doesn't have everything on the football. You see the receiver tried to come back, and Robinson able to get in there and bust up the play.
And Dustin Colquitt on to punt. Had the one attempted pooch kick that went 9 yards. And then the short one, and Robinson and Thomas are deep. Here's Colquitt. He's had a terrific season this year.
Boomer there, boy.
Yes, it is. Robinson will let it go. That's the kind of season that Colquitt has had.
And you know what? That was what Robinson was supposed to do. See, he made the mistake on that earlier in the game. He caught the ball on the 5. That time he did the right thing. He let it bounce. It just was a perfect bounce for Craig Colquitt.
54-yard punt for Colquitt. Nothing on the return. Gamecocks have the ball. South Carolina first possession of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and the 3rd time in 7 South Carolina possessions where they've started from inside their 10. Very few teams this year have been able to drive the ball for long yardage against this Tennessee defense.
Here's the inside reverse. Andre Gause, number 19, gets the toss. And let's get an update on injuries. Here once again is Jill Arrington.
Well, Vern, on the South Carolina receiver situation, Lou said Michael Ages would be out. He has a right shoulder bruise, but he's toughing it out on the field. Now, James Atkinson, in the second quarter, he dove for a catch and got sand in his eye. It's very aggravated, and he's out for the game.
All right, thank you, Jill. 2nd down and 2. Doesn't speak well for the condition of the field, huh? 2nd down and 2 from the 13. Pinnock coming left with room on the corner. And a South Carolina first down at the 24-yard line. Clock is stopped here. We'll go back to New York and check in with Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, one milestone today for Arizona State. Terrell Suggs gets a sack here against Jason Gesser, gives him 18.5 sacks through this year, setting an NCAA single-season record, passing Dwight Freeney. Also, Wake Forest now up on Florida State 21-7. James McPherson to Jason Anderson for the touchdown. FSU dropped out of the top 25 in November last year, Vern. It's likely to happen again.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Yes. Back-to-back for Florida State. Here's Jenkins, drills it, incomplete, down low at the 30-yard line.
You know, I don't know if they're going to mount a major drive here, but I've got to go back. That first play they called was a gutsy call. I mean, Lou Holtz, you think he's old school football, but to call an inside reverse inside your own 5-yard line on first down, I mean, that took some guts. And it fooled the Tennessee defense. That got them out away from their own end zone, which even if they have to punt the ball on this drive, they're at least not going to be punting out of their own end zone.
Jenkins will go from the spread on 2nd down and 10. Roll to his right. He will loft it deep, and he's got Ages open. And the pass is caught at the 49-yard line.
What an effort by Michael Ages. You know he's playing in pain. He's blocking out the pain, and he's giving it for his team. Again, he's playing his best football in his senior year, and watch him sell out for this one on the sideline. Nice job by Jenkins, giving him a chance, and easily makes the catch. Gets the left foot in clearly.
And South Carolina has now moved out from their own 6 to the midfield stripe. 1st and 10 as we near the 10-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Jenkins gets a block right and cuts it to the 45-yard line. Eddie Moore makes the tackle, number 37. And a flag.
Yeah, a late flag. A little extra pushing and shoving at the end of the play. And I think, again, the most penalized team in the SEC got hit again. Well, I take it back. It was all after the play was done. It was a dead ball type situation.
What? Skip Holtz right beside his dad, offensive coordinator.
Those are the kind of penalties that really hurt you as a coach.
Against the offense, 15 yards from the end of the run, 2nd down.
See, he wants to know who's it on, because that, you know, you've got momentum going, and there was definitely some extra pushing and shoving, and well, nothing there, I don't think. I think it was away from the actual run, but a costly penalty for South Carolina, who really was moving the ball well on this drive. Now a 2nd and very long, 19 yards to go.
From the 40-yard line as Lou Holtz continues to stare at the officials.
Boy, what a tough penalty. I mean, those are the kind, you know, you come out from your 5-yard line and you move the ball, you hit a big pass, you're out around the 50, you've got momentum, and then just a killer penalty.
Now you almost wonder if it wasn't something that was said.
Might have been.
Although it was unnecessary roughness called. 2nd down. Corey Jenkins. First year as a starting quarterback for the Gamecocks. Pulls up, dances to his left, and caught and dropped at the 33-yard line. Aubrey Franklin with the tackle this time, with help from Jabril Wilson. Well, we've waited a little bit, but it's time now for the trivia question. When was the last time that Tennessee lost 3 SEC games in a row? They've lost their last 2, so should they lose today, that would make it 3. Loss of 6 in the last play, 3rd and 25. Ages heads out to the right side. Troy Williamson, bottom of the screen to the left. 3 down, blitz coming. Screen pass behind the intended receiver.
Boy, did you see how fast Tennessee converged on Troy Williamson? I mean, this is a fast defense. They've lost key guys. They've been beat up, but they still have some guys that can flat out run on this defensive football team. And they smelled out that draw and flew to Troy Williamson. John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, says he's never had to plug and mix and match a defense as much as he's had to this year.
Tyler Dean will punt on 4th down. Mark Jones comes up and calls for the fair catch, which is taken at the 31-yard line, a 36-yard punt. And word from the bench now that this costly penalty after the run was called on Watts Sanderson, the right tackle. We don't know what the infraction was. We do know upon whom it was called.
Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Jack Daniel's Original Hard Cola, Sonic, Planters Nuts, and by Circuit City.
Now there are graduates, and then there are graduates.
Chicken Woman. I rode down here on a plane with a guy named Bubba who told me all about Chicken Woman, where she'd be. She does that every week, about every half hour. They stop traffic and she goes out in the street and does that.
I bet they stop traffic. 1st down. Here's Clausen, quick flip, and it's caught by Jonathan Wade, who was tackled immediately by Dante Robinson. Well, a very costly penalty called on Watts Sanderson on the last possession, Tom.
Well, it's right. Omari Hand is pushing with Sanderson, and then there's a headbutt, and then at the end of the play, and the problem is it's right in front of the umpire, Ronnie Jones. Ronnie having a little trouble getting that flag out, but Ronnie's watching it the whole time and calls the late penalty. And again, it's just such a drive killer that time for South Carolina.
2nd down, 11, loss of 1 in the last play. 9-3. This is where we stood at the half. Almost halfway through the 3rd quarter. Blitz. Clausen lets it go. Witten has the catch and is out of bounds at the 36-yard line in front of Takeem Muhammad, number 14.
How valuable Witten is. He's so athletic that you can flank him out there in a wide receiver position and put him in single coverage against a corner and just throw him little individual routes. His 5th reception of the game. And again, without Kelly Washington, he is the go-to receiver for Casey Clausen, and he's a tight end who's 6'5" and weighs about 270 pounds.
Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator, who works from the sidelines. 3rd and 4. Volunteers. Scott Wells will snap it. Stunts by the defense. Here's the pass. Nice catch. Just a little behind Jonathan Wade, who makes the grab for the 1st down at the 50.
Jonathan Wade is a young freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana, played at Evangel Christian High School, and he's a guy who has a chance to, according to the Tennessee coaches, to really become a special player. Now he's just getting used to playing wide receiver. He was a running back first in high school and a quarterback, and then he moved to defensive back, and he's just learning how to be a receiver, but he has great skills.
Had a time of 10.15 in the 100-meter. That's pretty nifty.
That's moving.
On 1st down, they fake the reverse. The handoff goes to Cedric Houston, who finds room at left tackle. Michael Munoz is the blocker, and he's down at the 45-yard line.
One of the real problems for South Carolina, they're a physical defense. They run, they get after you, but they have had a real problem this year on 3rd down. We just saw a big 3rd down conversion. Coming into the game, they've been allowing 44% conversion rate, and on 3rd and 5 to less, it was even higher, close to 64%. So far today, Tennessee now 5 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Take a look at that. Hard to get off the field.
Good penetration on this play by Langston Moore, number 57, and that allowed the pursuit to catch up. Langston Moore, who has endured a couple of tough years. He lost his dad to cancer in December of 2000. His mom, Stephanie Sexton, is watching this game from a hospital in Charleston, South Carolina. We chatted with Langston Moore yesterday about her condition. She's fought cancer and apparently has won that. Had a hysterectomy earlier in the week, and he was talking about her with great love and reverence yesterday.
Soft-spoken, very articulate young man. Hard to imagine him being a defensive tackle the way he sounded yesterday.
Here's Clausen, and he's got the receiver inside the 40. That should be enough for the first down as Tony Brown makes the catch.
And another 3rd down and 5 or less situation where their opponents converted. Good protection up front. A 4-man rush and not able to get close to Casey Clausen. Watch the protection up front. Good sight lines for Casey Clausen. And he's able to connect with Tony Brown for the first down.
Nearing the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, 9-3. Looks like he hasn't gone home since Halloween.
Yeah.
On 1st down and 10. Clausen chased Jonathan Martin. Clausen gets rid of it.
That's going to be a penalty because he was not outside the tackle box. Jonathan Martin on the blitz, and they came after him, and it was a good call to blitz him at that time as they're trying to go bootleg play action, and that takes his eyes off of the defense. And when he turned around, there was Jonathan Martin right in his face and Mo Thompson right behind him. So a good call by Charlie Strong to go after Casey Clausen right there. Obviously, you know he's not going to have the same mobility with the injured ankle. And I would suspect that South Carolina will continue to try to go after Casey Clausen, not only because of the ankle, but he's also still a little bit tender and maybe 1 or 2 bad shots away from being put out of this game because of his left shoulder.
Randy Sanders, in chatting with us earlier in the week, said, we know he's 1 or 2 solid hits away from not playing. 2nd down and 20.
And we talked about the snap. That's the thing that hurts his shoulder the most, that initial jolt.
Clausen looks for the safety valve and throws it a little above and behind Troy Fleming out of the backfield. It'll be 3rd and 20.
Take a look at the snap again. The right hand is the top hand. The left hand is his bottom hand, and it's his left shoulder that hurts. But it's that jolt of catching that football that every time he takes a snap, he feels that twinge of pain in his left shoulder with that little crack in his collarbone.
There's Randy Sanders. He can appreciate that, a former quarterback at Tennessee. 3rd and 20. And Sanders a little agitated. They're going to have to use a timeout. He's not a little agitated.
No, he's a lot agitated.
Time called Tennessee. They are facing a 3rd and 20. Smokey's not going to be able to help.
Do you like it?
It's just fine. It's a very important piece.
Oh, I really like
It's really generating a lot of buzz in the community.
I'm just not sure it goes with our couch.
How about I put some chili on it?
Whoa. It's Chili Makes It Better month at Sonic, featuring all your chili favorites, including the extra long cheese coney and large tots for just $2.99. And try our new pecan pie shake made with bits of real pecans.
Get up! Get on up! Get on up! Get up! Get on up! Hit me now! Come on! Stay on the scene like a sex machine. Hit it now! Right on, right on. Right on.
It's time for the Pontiac Performance All-America Update.
Hey, just call him Rolling Green with Josh Harris at the helm.
Well, Josh is a big reason, Timmy, why that 47.7 points per game leads the nation in scoring. Josh Harris is an outstanding quarterback. Watch him here in shotgun performance. The patience, 18 for 24 today, 201 yards, a couple of TDs. Also hurt him with his leg for a score.
This is one of those guys that ought to be invited in for the Heisman Trophy presentation. Invite him to New York. That's our Pontiac Performance All-America Update.
Back in Columbia, South Carolina, 5:35 to go in the third. Tennessee leading by 6, facing a 3rd and 20 from the 50.
And they've blitzed 4 times in this second half, but I would expect them to lay back and play zone and force an underneath throw on this 3rd and 21.
Clausen out of the spread. 4-man rush. He comes right side. And the catch is made at the 34-yard line. That'll be 4 short. Well, Randy Sanders, you saw him just a moment ago. How about a week ago?
Well, he had a lot of things going on. A lot of turnovers. Here he is right here, jumping up and down, moving people around. A lot of exasperation on the part of Randy Sanders last week in the loss to Alabama.
Well, a 4th down and 4. And Tennessee is going to go for it. The ball at the 34-yard line. Too far for the field goal. They eschew the pooch kick, and they will go for the first down from the 34.
Well, that was a heck of a completion on 3rd down.
Here's Clausen. Got it at the 20-yard line. First down, Tennessee, Montrell Jones.
See, the good thing was on 3rd and 21, he didn't try to force it for the first down. He made a nice throw to get most of it back. Now 3rd and 4, single coverage on Dante Robinson, and he got turned. A nice route by Montrell Jones, and Casey Clausen, who has made big throws at the right time against South Carolina in the last couple years, just made 2 in a row.
That was a 4th down play. 3rd down plays have been costly in this game so far for South Carolina and historically. And there's a football. Fleming.
I think South Carolina may have gotten it back. The fumble was by Cedric Houston, who, remember, has a bad thumb.
Well, we'll unstack the bodies and see.
Jonathan Martin is the guy who made the strip. And is that Casey Clausen down there who got the football? No. There's Clausen there.
Jabari Davis.
Let's take a look at the play again. Jonathan Martin is going to come up and make the hit on Houston, who has the bad thumb. He's carrying it in his left hand, which is where his injury is, and the ball is ripped out. And Jabari Davis, who was in, makes the
it was Fagan.
recovery.
Beg your pardon.
Jomo Fagan with the recovery.
84 instead of 34. Jomo Fagan made the recovery at 2nd down. Clausen out of the backfield. Flag is down. We're going to have holding Tennessee on this one.
Yeah, there was a tackle takedown on Langston Moore.
Well, I'm struck by the fact they converted the 4th down play here. In the last 2 years, it's been 3rd down conversions, Tennessee, against South Carolina.
Yeah, two years ago, it was a 3rd and 14 play that led to a winning points. Last year, 3rd and 21, and a 30-yard completion by Casey Clausen. They had sacked him 2 plays in a row, and he came back and made the huge 3rd down completion.
In both of those cases, Tennessee won. Now Troy Fleming shaken up on that last play and heading for the Tennessee bench.
And that could be yet another costly injury, because he's a very valuable part of this offense. Reliable in his pass protection as a lead blocker, also a receiver coming out of the backfield.
2nd and 27. Clausen got a man. Tennessee at the 13-yard line as Montrell Jones makes another catch.
Well, that was the same play to the other side that they completed on 4th down, and it was on Dante Robinson again. You see him looking in at the quarterback, and he gets a late break on the slant route by Montrell Jones. And Casey Clausen looking extremely sharp in this series. It starts with protection, but Casey Clausen putting the ball right where he needs to.
2nd down and 2. 3rd and 2. Clausen lets it go. He's got a receiver, and the catch is incomplete. It's not made. It'll be 4th down. Jomo Fagan.
Boy, what a huge play that was. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but you're moving, you've got momentum, Casey Clausen putting the ball right in the right spot, and this is a catchable pass. I mean, it hits Bacon right there. Boy, I'm not so sure that wasn't a catch. What? Wow. I think that was a catch, Vern. I mean, he didn't have it secured real cleanly, but it looked like he had possession.
Scott Newsom will snap at Alex Walls from the 29-yard line. The kick is up and through. So they salvage 3 to the Volunteers. And they lead by 9. 12-3 with 2:57 to go, third quarter. 9.
Well, that was a huge break for South Carolina, because not only do they stay close in this ball game, down only 9 with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left in the third quarter, but Tennessee had it rolling there on that drive. And that sure looked like a catch that got nullified and made Tennessee settle for the 3 points.
Philip Newman will do the kickoff chores for the Volunteers. And we talked at the outset of the season and the balance for these two teams. Tennessee comes in 4-3. If they win, they're 5-3. They go home and get Miami next week. South Carolina 5-3, but beginning a tough stretch. They've still got to face Florida on the road. They get Clemson at home.
And Arkansas.
And the kickoff now from Philip Newman for the Volunteers. Robinson and Thomas are the deep men. And this one will drive Matthew Thomas 8 yards into the end zone.
You know, the one thing when we talked to the Tennessee coaches, they all said we love the character of this team. I mean, they are fighting no matter what's happening, no matter the injuries, they keep fighting. And boy, we've seen that today. This is a Tennessee team that has come out very focused. They haven't scored a lot of points, but they haven't done that all year. I mean, in the SEC games they've played this year, they haven't scored many. As we take a look now at a new quarterback, Dondrell Pinkins. And this kid can flat out throw the football. And I think what Lou Holtz is realizing right now is we've got to make something happen throwing the football. And this kid can flat out throw it. Watching him in practice.
He is a large one, 6'2", 240 pounds. Hand off Dacus Turman. And the true freshman out to the 27-yard line on first down. Well, time now for the answer to the trivia question. The last time Tennessee lost 3 SEC games in a row. Same year they lost their last encounter to South Carolina. They had 3 in a row against Arkansas, Alabama, and here at Bryce Williams Stadium. Second down. And a handoff left side to the 32-yard line. Well, guess who's back, Todd? With a chapeau.
And dare we say that he's a Gamecock fan today.
You know, he's down there with all of Lou Holtz's friends from East Liverpool. That's a pottery barn down there.
What's that? Birds of a feather stick together?
Yeah,
flock together.
Yeah.
Of course he'd be a Gamecock fan.
You bet.
Still want to see South Carolina, and again, maybe the reason they've got Pinkins in now, trying to get Troy Williamson involved in the game. He's been their big play guy recently, and he's been silent today.
And looks like Skip Holtz and the Carolina Gamecocks called time. Here's Tim.
All right, Vern, we want to update you on some unbeatens. Ohio State now getting some distance between themselves and Minnesota. Lydell Ross, good cutback for the touchdown. North Carolina State is trailing Georgia Tech. It's now 9-3 in the third. And with under 3 minutes left, Boston College leading Notre Dame 14-6. The Irish just got in on a touchdown pass by Carlisle Holiday with the point to come. Could it be a reenactment of 93?
All right, Tim, thank you. Rashad Baker shaken up on the last play. Here's Pinkins on first down, going right, one hopping it to his intended receiver, Troy Williamson. Well, tomorrow on the NFL Today, it's a tale of 2 quarterbacks as Deion Sanders tracks down the unstoppable Michael Vick, while Marcus Allen gets the lowdown on the unflappable Tommy Maddox. Well, Jim Nantz and the entire gang on the NFL Today. How about the Tommy Maddox story? That is remarkable. Tommy Maddox drafted out of UCLA by the Broncos and Dan Reeves a decade ago, and Here he comes. Here's Turman out of the backfield and out to the 44-yard line. That might be enough to move the chains. It appears like it's an 11-yard gain.
Marcus Turman giving him a little bit of a boost here. He was had 49 yards on 4 carries against LSU 2 weeks ago. And he's a youngster, a true freshman who went through spring drill, so he got here early. And when he was a senior in high school in Georgia, he actually broke Herschel Walker's single-season rushing record with 3,167 yards as a senior. So not too bad.
No, that's not too shabby. On first down, here's the toss. Left side, Kenny Irons. And Irons stacked up for a gain of 1 to the 45-yard line. Marcus Turman was talking about that senior season. He said his low game was 150 yards. But he only carried 4 times. He said he scored on all 4. So, you know, it wasn't a bad night.
Played at Washington County High School in Washington, Georgia. And Kenny Irons, another very talented youngster that they're trying to work more in. He's been battling an ankle injury, but getting some action today.
Second down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Low snap for Pinkins. He picks it up, looks deep, and fires. Good coverage downfield. And the ball is intercepted.
Great play.
Wow. Willie Miles, the senior out of Fort Worth, was there all the way.
Well, great play by a senior and a poor play by a freshman in Troy Williamson, because when he knows he can't get it, he's got to try to turn into a defender and not let Willie Miles make the interception. Miles was not going to get beat deep, and Troy Williamson not able to break that play up. Now, the only good news for South Carolina is because it was a long throw like that, it was almost like a punt.
Willie Miles, who was a redshirt senior from Fort Worth, sat out all of last year with an injury. And now William Rebel, number 45, is in there in front of Gerald Riggs Jr., number 31. And Riggs gets the handoff.
Fumble. Ball's loose. There's a penalty flag down, but the ball did come out.
Gamecocks say they have it.
And a flag on the play as well.
They do if the play stands.
Was that Riggs' first carry in the ball game?
Yes, it was.
First carry, and he doesn't secure the football in a position of the field where you cannot afford a turnover. There's a new fullback in Rebel and a new tailback, and he never has it clean, never. And Rashad Faison is the guy who gets in there and knocks it out with Mo Thompson. Watch this play now. The ball comes out, and Mo Thompson is going to fall on the football.
South Carolina gets it. Turnover is now even at 2-2. There's the attempted reverse to Andre. No, they toss it back. Pinkins never let it go.
Yep.
What a great job Dondrell Pinkins did.
Well, the best thing that Dondrell Pinkins did is catch the snap, because it's a low snap from Nashawn Goddard. And the last couple shotgun snaps have been low, so watch him have to go down and get it, and then they fake the underneath reverse, and it's a keeper, a design keeper. And Dondrell Pinkins shows that he can run a little bit too.
Well, Lou Holtz telling us yesterday afternoon we have 4 reverses in our game plan.
But they're all blocked. They're not trick 'em reverses. And you can see that time Andrew Pinnock leading the blocking.
Corey Jenkins is back in straight T formation on first and goal. Pinnock down to the 3-yard line. And that will be the final play of the third quarter. That's the end of 3 with a score 12-3. And we will return to Williams-Brice Stadium right after this message and this word from your local station. Back to Columbia, South Carolina. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, Jill Arrington. South Carolina second and goal from the 2, trailing by 9.
And I think they've got to think touchdown here. I don't think they can win this game if they have to settle for a field goal here.
Straight T behind Corey Jenkins. Hands it. There's Robinson. Touchdown, South Carolina.
You just don't know how many chances you're going to get. They got a fumble in the first quarter at the 12-yard line and had to settle for a field goal. This time they start on the 17 after the fumble, and they get a touchdown. Nice little counter action. Fake left, came back to Thez Robinson and Ryan Brewer, who's such a critical part of this goal line and short yardage offense, there to cheer him on.
Daniel Weaver's extra point is up and good, and the redshirt freshman number 6, Thez Robinson, has just scored his first career touchdown. It comes on a 2-yard run. He splits right guard and right tackle, and he brings the Gamecocks to within 2. South Carolina scores from 2 yards out on the first play of the fourth quarter. A 2-point game, 12-10. Corey Larkins is the deep man for Tennessee, number 23. And again, this is a team that leads the country in kickoff returns, and Larkins elects to bring it out from 1.5 yards in. Well, he does get to the 20, but that's going to be another penalty, I believe, against the Volunteers of Tennessee, and now 3 flags are down. Well, we're back for our second visit to Columbia, South Carolina. We've got 84,000 enjoying this one and enjoying it now a little more than they were a minute ago.
Yeah, and especially the fact that they got that touchdown. I mean, you've got to take advantage of those field position situations, and they were able to do that. Watch the blocks by Cedric Williams and Andrew Pinnock on this play. Williams first at the point of attack. He crashes down on the nose. He gets his block. And then watch the end of the play. Pinnock drives his man up and over the goal line and allows Thez Robinson to make the play. Just excellent execution when they needed it the most on the goal line.
And another penalty against Tennessee. That brings the ball back to the 10-yard line. That is the 6th penalty of the ball game for the Volunteers. 90 yards away with a 2-point lead on the road.
And Cedric Houston back in at tailback now.
Gets 2. And let's go down to Jill Arrington with some injury updates.
Vern, these Tennessee injuries keep piling up and they can't afford it. Jabari Davis has been taken into the locker room to have his ribs x-rayed. He will be out. Troy Fleming has a hip pointer and he is out. And then on defense, Rashad Baker has re-injured that shoulder. He is doubtful, but they want to get him back in the game. Not good news for Tennessee.
No, it's not, Jill. Wow. Thank you. Well, that might explain Gerald Riggs' position in the backfield. I don't know. Jabari Davis was not available on that first down effort from the 13 at the end of the third quarter.
And Cedric Houston had fumbled earlier in the quarter.
And on second down, Lance Lowry makes the tackle on Cedric Houston. That's right. There had been a Houston fumble. Davis is in the locker room. Gerald Riggs comes in and makes his first carry of the ball game and coughs it up.
We showed you this graphic earlier. Look at now 11 turnovers leading to 57 points. And on the year now in 7 games, now their 8th game, 18 turnovers. And they had that same amount for the entire season last year.
Well, here's a test for the Carolina defense. 3rd and 5 from the 16. Clausen with time fires it out. Caught at the 21-yard line. That should be enough to move the chain.
And again, the incredible thing here is this is your tight end. This is not your wide receiver. This is a tight end, 6'5", 270 pounds, who you flank out like a wide receiver, and look at him with the footwork on the sideline, getting the first down and keeping his feet in bounds. Working on a corner, Matthew Thomas, and Casey Clausen goes to him for the 6th time in the ballgame.
And South Carolina unable to defend a 3rd down again. 7 of 13 for 3rd downs now for Tennessee. Here's the handoff. Left side. It's Cedric Houston into the hands of Mo Thompson, number 91.
Again, the critical thing is when you get into that 3rd and 5 or less, that's where South Carolina has really struggled. Over 64% their opponents have converted. I mean, you can't win that way consistently, and they've done a pretty good job on 1st and 2nd down, but 3rd downs have really been a problem.
2nd and 6 here. 12-10. Backs in the eye. Houston comes left. Out near the 30. Nice effort after the contact was made. 8-yard gain, first down, Tennessee. We go back to New York and Tim Brando.
All right, Vernon Todd, we're down to 7 unbeatens. History repeats itself. Carlisle Holiday on the final play throws, and it's batted down. Boston College, 9 years removed from taking Notre Dame out of the national championship picture, beats them again, this time knocking them from the unbeaten. NC State wins over Georgia, or leading Georgia Tech 10-9. Jericho Cotchery, the pass for the touchdown.
All right, Tim, thank you.
I got a simple explanation for that Notre Dame game.
Hand off left side. And Houston, nice run out to the 37. Yes.
Green jersey. Why change the uniforms? You know, you're playing great. You're undefeated. You change the uniforms and wear the green, and they go down.
Are you telling me that you are a little superstitious? Just, huh?
Well, no, not really, but just why mess with a good thing, you know?
See number 73 out there playing for the Tennessee Volunteers, Will Offenhuzel, came up to me yesterday during the walkthrough and said, you know, we're 1-4 when you and Todd are doing the games. Second down and 4. Big run. My goodness, when they needed Houston as much as at any time in the ball game, he's had 3 really solid runs. Well, I bet they won't be wearing the green jerseys next week when they go into to take on the Naval Academy. Miami will be at Tennessee. Todd, Jill, and I will be there for that one in Knoxville as Miami comes from behind at Rutgers and wins today. First down from the 50. This is the 19th carry for Cedric Houston in the ball game, and the last 4 have been the best.
Coming into the game, only 29 carries because of his injuries, but this is the guy that they really thought was going to be the next Travis Stevens or the next Travis Henry, the go-to tailback. But so limited by the injuries, but you can see in these last several runs what he's capable of doing. And again, this is Tennessee football. Running behind their offensive line, I formation, eating up clock, and wearing out a defense.
Well, this brings back memories of Travis Stevens and Travis Henry in the last 3 years. And they'll go back to Cedric Houston again, this time good defense. DeAndre Island, number 28, was one of the first there. Mo Thompson also part of it, number 91. Prior to that run, his last 4 carries had been 8 yards, 12 yards, 12 yards, and 11 yards. Second down and 7. Houston gets a rest. They come left. Derek Tinsley. And Tinsley is dropped at the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 11.
Ball carrier.
Today's Home Depot Scholar Athlete is Ryan Brewer of South Carolina. Brewer with a 3.47 grade point average in sports and entertainment management. Home Depot's commitment to the investment of our future shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of South Carolina's Scholarship Fund. There's Ryan Brewer out with an ankle injury. They think they might get him back next week, and they did not think that a week ago. Here's Tinsley again. Derek Tinsley, who has been used more as a wide receiver than in the backfield, but that's his second consecutive carry. And here's Jill with Ryan Brewer.
Well, your team's certainly missing you out there. How bad do you want to be out there to return some of those punts and those short yardage situations?
I'd do anything right now to be out there. It's been hard all day for me to swallow, you know, not being out on the field. It's been a long time since I haven't played the game. And you realize it now, you know, how much you love the game when you're out.
All right, let's watch this play real quick.
All right, Joe, we'll get back to you. It's second down and 6. Backs in the eye. And here is Tinsley for the 3rd consecutive carry. That'll be short of the first down at the 16. Jill?
Well, offensive coordinator Skip Holtz told us that you have the most heart of any player he's ever seen. They didn't realize how bad that injury was, but how is the ankle coming along?
It's coming along good. This was the worst ankle sprain they've ever seen. But I just got to fight through it, and next week hopefully I'll be out there.
Do you think that you'll be back on the field this season?
Yeah, I'm going to be out there no matter what. I don't care what they got to do. Next week's our last home game, and I'm going to be on them.
Brian told me they took the shoulder pads and his jersey out. they didn't want him suiting up at halftime, so take care of that ankle.
All right, Jill, thank you. Third down. Backs in the eye from line formation. Here is Houston spinning and driving and getting the first down.
This is just so reminiscent of the last 2 years, Tennessee and South Carolina. In the fourth quarter, getting in the I formation and running the football. And look at that, over 200 yards. Again, coming into the game, 9th in the conference. Very uncharacteristic for Tennessee. Only 129 yards a game rushing. Only 59 last week against Alabama, but now 209 yards today.
Charlie Strong, the defensive coordinator, said he feared them getting back to a power football game, and they are doing that tonight. Here's Clausen. Corner blitz. Pass incomplete at the goal line.
That may be one that Dante Robinson sees over and over and over in his head, because that could have completely snuffed out this drive and swung the momentum back to South Carolina. He's had a little trouble with this slant route, but this time he breaks perfectly on it right in front and not able to make the pick. He read it, he broke, he lost his balance a little bit as the ball got to him, but he could have completely turned the momentum of this football game with that play.
Second down and 10 from just inside the 15. Montrell Jones is split wide right now. Tony Brown is the motion man. Draw play, Cedric Houston, and he bolts inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. Running with real power on this drive.
Yeah, he really is. And it looks like he's just saying, you know what, I'm not going to think about my thumb. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go and lower my shoulder and keep my legs moving until they get me to the ground. You see him get leverage, get low, run right over Takei Muhammad and get about 4 more yards after the contact.
And Muhammad is down, injured on the tackle.
Cedric Houston from Clarendon, Arkansas, was highly recruited. Left his home state of Arkansas to go to Tennessee, and again, he was a guy who early in the year they really thought this is going to be our guy. And he had a thigh bruise that knocked him out for a while, and then the broken thumb, and really until today, the last 5 games, he had only had 6 carries, and so he has really gotten it going here today.
And you can see how well Tennessee has played and what they've accomplished when running for more than 200. These are runs from just this drive,
yeah,
Todd.
just this drive, and you can see how hard he's running the football. He's protecting it. He had a fumble earlier, but he's not worried about that now, and he is really running downhill against this South Carolina defense. For the game now, 22 carries for 89 yards. And again, before today, only 29 carries for the whole season. He has 22 today.
His high for the season was back in game 1 against Wyoming. That the only 100-yard effort. Here's Takei Muhammad being helped over to the sideline as Cedric Houston ran over Muhammad on that last play.
Yeah. Muhammad led with his right shoulder, and just a direct hit on Cedric Houston. Now another huge third down play for both teams.
I formation for Tennessee. They lead by 2. They've got the ball at the 6, and Casey Clausen is changing the play. Revel is the fullback, number 45. Houston is the tailback, and it's Houston who gets the carry and does not make it.
You know, the only thing I didn't like about that with Tennessee was when Casey Clausen was audibling and checking off, his linemen were in their stance a long time. That takes a little bit of their edge of coming up, getting down, and firing off the football. He's checking. Watch, now they're all down. These guys all have their hand on the ground, and Clausen is audibleizing, and they didn't get the push that they've gotten the entire drive on that last play.
Sean Smith, Lance Lowry collaborating for the defensive effort. And here is Alex Walls for his 3rd field goal attempt from inside 30 yards. This one, 22. Timeout called. Tennessee, they had one man who was very late getting off the field. And they've got 1 timeout left.
America's always had heroes.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Alamo, Kinko's Network, Singular Wireless, and by Wrangler.
One of the more interesting decisions of the season for the Volunteers. They are not going for the field goal. They've sent the offense out. And on 4th and 1 from the 6, the Volunteers, leading by 2, will go for it. Houston is the deep back in the eye. Casey Clausen, bootleg. Clausen points out. He's going to stroll in untouched. He dives for the last yard.
And Jason Witten is who got him to the end zone. Witten was the primary receiver, but Clausen didn't like what that looked like and decided to run. And as soon as Witten saw him tuck the football, he turned into a lead blocker and got him in the end zone. Now remember, this was the 4th down. They wanted to call timeout. They ran the play anyway. Witten's right here. Now he's going to be blocked and then released, but he's covered by Island. And then he lead blocks for Clausen to take it in. I like the call because your defense has played well enough. They're not going to go 95 yards on you.
And Alex Walls hooks the extra point.
One blocked and one hooked. And now
it's a one-score
game.
Absolutely.
That's huge.
Casey Clausen, though, bum right ankle, bruised left wing. Touchdown nonetheless. 4th and 1, Todd.
Just really a gutsy effort again by Casey Clausen, and we've seen a bunch of that from him. Has been a real leader on this football team, and you can see him right now talking to the defense. Has really atoned for his game last week at Alabama by leading his team today.
Philip Newman kicks it off. Taken by Thomas at the 5, and Matthew Thomas back to the 20, to the 30. And it's Andre Gauze 19 instead of 15. Matthew Thomas. Let's go back to the touchdown.
I want you to see a couple blocks here. First of all, the left guard, Sean Young, is going to get a huge block. And then, of course, Witten blocks down and then turns into a blocker out here. Watch these two blocks. The guard pulls to lead the way. He gets a cut block. And then Witten with a cut block. And Clausen, bad shoulder and all, gets into the end zone. Well executed. They go for it on 4th down. That's twice now today. They've converted on 4th down against South Carolina. This time for a touchdown.
Andre Gauze is the player who is down, having just returned that kick to the 35-yard line. So time has been called. We've got 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the ball game.
The climb to the top is never easy. To make it, you need the biggest ATV Honda has ever built. 650 cc's. Fully independent rear suspension. Sport-tuned automatic. The Rincon from Honda. To get here, you've got to be the best on earth.
Smart move, Dave. Consolidated with Dell PowerEdge servers. Highly available, highly scalable. Intel Xeon processors. Cuts costs across the board. So you're not gonna miss those old servers, right?
Oh, Tony. What did you do with the old servers?
Nothing.
It's our drinking fountain, isn't it?
You mean Hydra?
Find out how you can cut costs across your enterprise. Easy as Dell. Call or go online today.
This being my last will and testament, I leave my entire fortune to my grandson, Billy. Cool. But only if he learns to dress himself better.
Need a new wardrobe? Burlington Coat Factory has an enormous collection of famous label menswear for less than department store sale prices.
Grandma! Sorry, Billy, but it was the only way we could get you to dress nicer.
Burlington Coat Factory. It's more than great coats.
With all that money you save now, you don't even need my inheritance.
Their son is joining the football team as a cheerleader.
Step, sachet, sachet, sachet.
Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. Still standing. CBS Monday after Raymond.
Andre Gauze on the South Carolina bench getting medical attention now. And Donvrell Pinkins is in at quarterback for South Carolina. They'll go from their own 35, trailing by 8. 4-man Tennessee rush. Pinkins, screen pass, dropped.
Boy, they've dropped some screen passes today. They've had a couple set up really well, and that's the 3rd time in the ball game that they've dropped a simple screen pass. Well thrown balls. Let's go back to the kickoff return. by Goss. You can see at the end of the play. His left knee kind of gets twisted underneath him.
Second down. Here's Pinkins out of the gun. Little pattern underneath, and Michael Ages cannot hang on. That's two that should have been caught. Jabril Wilson, number 8, was the closest defender, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Boy, those are two costly drops, Vern, because I don't think if they have to give up the football here, I don't know that they can get it back from Tennessee again with time enough. Even though they have 3 timeouts, the way Tennessee's running the football, I don't know if they'll get it back with enough time to do anything. So those 2 drops costly, and now 3rd and 10 critical for Dondrell Pinkins.
5:58 to go. Low snap again. Pinkins picks it up. Dances right, being chased and caught.
They can't get anybody open. I mean, that's the problem. The protection is pretty decent, but the coverage downfield by this Tennessee secondary is too good. I mean, now watch these guys and watch as this play begins. Just watch and see if you can find a red shirt that pops open. They rush 3. They drop 7 or 8, and there's just no red shirts open. I mean, the only guy that's open is an outlet receiver right here.
Now the punt from Tyler Dean. Low, far. That drives Mark Jones back inside the 20. But he gets it out to the 30-yard line and is stopped at the 31. 48-yard punt for Tyler Dean. 12 on the return. Here's the lineup tonight on CBS. It's all new. We'll begin with Touched by an Angel, followed by Craig T. Nelson in the District. Then go inside the secret world of the CIA on The Agency. That's the lineup tonight on CBS, America's most watched network. Andre Gaz still being taken care of on the sideline. 1st down and 10. Here's Clausen with the handoff to Houston out to the 33-yard line. And let's check in with Jill Arrington. Jill.
Well, you saw the play. It was that left knee, and Andre Gaz is out for the game. Also, Takeem Muhammad, their cornerback, he has a right dislocated shoulder, and he's also out.
All right, Jill, thank you. The injuries keep piling up.
Boy, it's just been one of those years.
2nd down, Tennessee. On that last drive, they went 90 yards in 17 plays, and they ran it 15 times. That is old-fashioned Tennessee football. They're looking at a 3rd down now from the 37-yard line.
Houston again, the ball carrier.
And let's take another look at that bootleg by Casey Clausen for the touchdown.
Yeah, gutsy call. Good blocks by Sean Young, the guard who's going to pull out in front. Good fake. He got Jonathan Martin with that block, and then Island blocked by Witten. And just a gutsy effort by Casey Clausen, who he doesn't run a lot, and he's not real fancy, but he does run bootlegs. Last year against Alabama, then again in a big win over Notre Dame out in South Bend. Crazy legs. But this is a huge 3rd down conversion.
Draw play. Houston coming left. Fights for it and does not get it. He's dropped at the 40-yard line. 3:42 to go. Jameisha Jackson and Mo Thompson collaborate for that one.
They haven't stopped Tennessee very much on 3rd down. 8 of 15 before that play, but that was a big stop because now they'll get the ball back with more time than I thought they'd have, and they have a full complement of 3 timeouts remaining.
It's going to be Dante Robinson back, and Dustin Colquitt will call upon the experience of a terrific season and hope it carries him through this punt. Nine men coming from South Carolina. And here's Colquitt. Nice and high. He boomed it. And Matthew Thomas, it's not Robinson. There's a flag down.
Yeah, he ran into Colquitt. And there is no blocking into a man. Oh, what is holding? It was the personal protector of Tennessee trying to prevent the punt block. And that was the penalty.
On the kicking team. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 4th down.
South Carolina very fortunate because that was a great kick by Colquitt, but watch the pressure right up the middle. It was not the personal protector Houston who held, but it was rather inside Jason Mitchell, number 35, who was called for the holding. And now South Carolina a chance to get it in much better field position.
That is the 7th penalty against Tennessee, and Colquitt will do it over.
I'd set up return here this time. Try to get the best field position you can.
Robinson and Thomas are both back, and this one's a bad punt. It bounces at the 30-yard line.
It was a bad punt because the play before was almost blocked, and that time there was a flash in the right side of the screen or the right side of the vision for Dustin Colquitt, and he kind of shanked that punt. It was pressure that got to him a little bit. Now look at this from the outside. The pressure is going to come here. It's not going to be close to being blocked, but it's enough to get just in the vision of the punter. And Colquitt doesn't get one of his best, and the change of possession now is a +15 for South Carolina.
They have it at the 30-yard line, 3 timeouts remaining, and 2 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock. Here's the handoff to Andrew Pinnock. Nothing. And while the Gamecocks regather, we check in once again with Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, it's time now for our Kinko's top performance of the day. Ronnie Brown of Auburn. Yeah, he's no Cadillac. He's good enough. 224 yards on 33 carries, 3 touchdowns as Auburn beats Ole Miss today and remains very much alive in the SEC West.
Now on second down, this one completed left side at the 35-yard line. The catch made by James. Nope, now it's ruled incomplete. Atkinson could not hang on.
And for the South Carolina quarterbacks now, Corey Jenkins and Dondrell Pinkins, only 5 completions in 18 attempts. And I mean, that's not very confidence building when you have to go on a game-winning drive with 2 minutes left in the football game. You're only 1 score behind, so a touchdown and a 2-point conversion ties this game up, but they have not completed many passes.
Here's 3rd and 10. Pinkins with a lot of time, and he's got a man open, but he can't get there as Corey Larkins picks it off. Larkins comes left, and he's got the interception at the 23-yard line. It's Jabari Greer instead of Corey Larkins, 33 instead of 23.
Well, Jabari Greer is going to do a great job of just reading this play. He's down here. Now he's going to run with his man, but then the whole time he's going to keep his eyes right on Dondrell Pinkins. Watch Jabari Greer go back in coverage, leave his man, and then follow the football and make the interception right in front of the intended receiver. Pinkins never saw Jabari Greer. He's watching his man cross the field, and the backside corner snuck up on him and got the pick.
And it's Greer, the nickelback, who makes the interception, and that should seal it with 2 minutes and 1 second remaining. Second pick of the season for Jabari Greer. Houston to the 20. And time now for our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Ball control in the 4th quarter. Look at that. Tennessee 11:05. South Carolina 2 minutes. Get complete game stats at CBSSportsline.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline.
And I'll tell you another stat that's not going to look good in the South Carolina offensive meeting tomorrow. 45 yards passing. It's tough to win in this league or any league when you only throw for 45 yards.
This shot for the cup and a piece.
18-10, a dejected group of South Carolina Gamecocks trailing by 8. Appears they will lose for the 10th consecutive season to the Tennessee Volunteers. 2nd down and 7. And here is Cedric Houston closing in on a 100-yard evening. Got 104 now. Time called, South Carolina. Where we stand now as Clausen confers with Jonathan Wade, Philip Fulmer, Randy Sanders.
You know, I just go back to what we said at the beginning of the show. The problem for Tennessee this year offensively is they've not been able to play Tennessee football. Line up in the I formation, run it, throw it when they gang up on the running game. Today they were able to go back and play Tennessee football. 238 yards rushing. The offensive line has played outstanding, and Cedric Houston has been the go-to guy.
Clausen on the bootleg gets rid of it, and this catch is made by Ryan Boswell, number 82, and Casey gets up gimpy yet again. He sustained an ankle injury in the second quarter.
Well, another bootleg. Jonathan Martin on the blitz knocks Clausen down, but another huge third down conversion. A good call during that timeout by Randy Sanders. Get the first down, continue to eat up the clock, and keep the ball away from South Carolina.
And yet again, Todd, his percentage of completion so outstanding.
He's been sharp today. I mean, much better than he was a week ago. 17 of 23 today, and some real clutch throws when he needed it.
Speaking of clutch, here's Houston. He's stumped on this play, but he's been the difference in this fourth quarter. Time has been called, and the clock stops with 1 minute 11 seconds remaining. 1:11 to go. 18-10. Didn't know the South Carolina win was that big.
When you've lost 2 in a row,
right,
and you got Miami coming down next week, it's a big win for Philip Fulmer and the Tennessee football team. They circled the wagons and they got it done.
South Carolina cannot stop the clock. Second down. Here's Houston on his 30th carry of the ball game. There is a flag down on the near side. Coming into this ball game, Cedric Houston had carried 29 times this season. That was his 30th carry tonight. If it stands. It won't. But I bet he gets it again.
There's a real good chance he's going to get it again.
Now they'll unravel this one and walk it off against Tennessee.
Again, talking about Tennessee football, lining up and running the football, throwing when you want to and not because you have to. 76 offensive plays for Tennessee today, 53 of them rushes and 23 passes. And they haven't been able to play like that for a long time. I mean, it's been a tough year for them because they just haven't been able to do what they're most comfortable with doing. But today, we got a good dose of volunteer football again.
That is the 8th penalty against Tennessee. It's second down and 15 from the 16-yard line. And for Lou Holtz, denied the opportunity of winning his 239th game, and he remains winless against Tennessee. And they've still got Florida. That's another big one. He knows they've got to defeat those two teams. And the final 30 seconds unraveling now. In 1994, the Volunteers finished 8-4 after a 3-4 start. They stumbled out of the gate in 2000, started 2-3, ran off 6 in a row, and finished 8-4. There have been comparisons made this year to that. Casey Clausen, a courageous performance today, and Philip Fulmer wins his 100th victory as the head coach of the University of Tennessee. His all-time record now 100 wins and 23 defeats. Big game for Jason Witten in the absence of Kelly Washington.
And we put up that graphic comparing the 94 team and the 2000 team. And in both of those underneath, you saw the big-time tailback that both of those teams were able to rely on down the stretch. Maybe Tennessee found their tailback today in Cedric Houston that they can rely on. 30 carries, 108 yards for the youngster out of Arkansas.
Now Cedric Houston, our player of the game, the Army player of the game, as Todd mentioned, career high of 30 carries. That surpasses by 1 the total number of carries the rest of the season. 108 yards and a courageous, gritty performance. And Jill Arrington is with Philip Fulmer.
Coach Fulmer, congratulations. Your 100th win, but what does this win mean to this ball club?
It's a great win. I mean, there's a lot of heart, obviously, shown by our football team. Our staff has stuck together. I mean, it's been a tough couple weeks because we've been our own worst enemies. But to come in this environment and get a win and get it the Tennessee way, running the football, hitting our passes that we needed to. Great defense. They didn't do really anything on our defense that we didn't give them. So just a great relief. We got our work cut out for us down the road. We've got a lot of guys banged up, even in this ball game. But this team has a lot to it and a lot of heart, Jill.
Talk to me about the offensive line, how well they played, the resiliency of Casey Clausen to stay out there and do what it takes to win.
I told you at halftime, Casey's a tough guy, you know, and you know, his shoulder's sore and now his ankle's sore, but he is a winner, a big-time winner. And our offensive line really took over the football game. They were able to get that drive at the end of the game. I don't know how long it took, 7 or 8 minutes, and then a huge touchdown, obviously.
All right, Coach, well, congratulations. Enjoy the win as you head into a big game next week. They're excited.
Indeed, they should be, Jill. Casey Clausen, Philip Fulmer. Tennessee wins it. So that'll do it from Columbia, South Carolina. Our final score, 18-10. Jill Arrington, Todd Blackledge, and our entire CBS production crew. Vern Lundquist saying goodnight. We'll see you next week with a dry Philip Fulmer.